All right, so this video, we got a Yamaha Kodiak. I think it's a 600. I don't know the year. Guy dropped it off because it's been sitting for about a little over a year and a half actually. And he kind of wants me to go over it and get it running and tune it up, that sort of thing. He also has his Polaris Ranger 800, I believe. He took it to 3 other people. They couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. They couldn't get it running. It run for about 2 seconds to shut off, so we're gonna look at that in another video. Looks pretty old. It's been sitting outside, as I can see. This actually has park in the transmission. The pull starter, I tried to pull start this thing, but this thing has so much compression. I don't know how anybody's supposed to pull that thing over. It's a single cylinder. Pretty complex valve train by the looks of it. Any ATV or whatever you got, before starting it and doing anything, just check the oil. Yeah, looks all right. It's got oil in it. Probably change it once I get it running. The tires look okay, but probably need some air in them. It looks like somebody also left the fuel on. Let's pop this off. Let's get this thing off of here. Wow, okay. That's a very nice air filter. The carburetor is going to be way up in there, and it looks like I'm going to tear all this bull crap off in order to get to it. But first, I'm going to get the screwdriver and connect the battery and see if we got any power. Ooh, we got something. All right, well, the full drive works. All right, so I'm going ahead and just bite the bullet and start tearing off the side plastics and everything, so that way I can get more access to the engine and the carburetor. Oh no, that's broke. And yes, this is the OEM carb, Mikuni, made in Japan. And luckily, there's no bolts on the front holding that in, so I don't have to tear this whole crap off, so I can just undo those 2 bolts and pull this thing out of here. I'll put you back on when I get it out of here. How about that? All right, so I got the fuel tank out of there after a little bit of wrestling about. That fuel tank had absolutely no fuel in it whatsoever. So I'm going to put fuel in it, kind of flush out any leftover crap, because it does smell like old gas. And probably take the carburetor off as well, just because I know from tons of experience that that's going to have some problems in it. So I'm just going to pull this thing out. But let's just see if there is anything in the bowl. Nothing. But am I sure about that? There's some black tar on the end of that. All right, so I'm pretty sure some of you get the idea on how to unbolt the carburetor. Undo this, undo your choke, undo your throttle. The fuel's already unplugged. And a little bit of wrestling about, it'll pull right out. Oh, that comes on. I'll let the battery charge. All right, so since this thing is pretty hard to start, even with the electric start with 200 amps supporting it, and extremely hard to pull start, I'm assuming that the decompression valve on the cam is shot, or the valves are just way too loose or something like that. Possibly a valve adjustment. I'm hoping that's all it is, because this thing's just absolutely brutal. All right, so somebody's been in this carburetor before because of the way the screws are about rounded off, but luckily they broke free pretty easily. When you take out Phillips head screws, use the right size Phillips head in the screw and put a good amount of pressure on it when you turn it, because otherwise you will cam and strip these things out. What do y'all say? Considering there's a little bit of tar on there but no fuel in there, I'm gonna say it has some dirt in it, but it's not totally destroyed. Okay, we can float with stuck, but we could work with that. Another thing I want to make sure about is this diaphragm. It's moving up and down really freely, but I feel like there's supposed to be a little resistance for the air that's up in there. It just seems like it's moving a little too freely. That's shot, it's got a tear in it, so I'm gonna have to replace this diaphragm. This diaphragm and these CV carburetors are very important, if not the most important thing in these carburetors. If you got any sort of tear in this, like this right here, even this little bitty crack right here, that's gonna basically make this whole thing not go up when you give it throttle. But basically, when you give the engine throttle, this is gonna open up first right here, and that causes a vacuum inside of this top case right here, which then pulls this up allowing the needle to come out of the main jet in here. And if this is gonna leak air, you're gonna hit the throttle and this isn't gonna go up and it's pretty much gonna just stall out. All right, so we are back down here. I'm trying to make 2 other videos at the same time here. All right, so I got everything all torn apart right here. These passageways on the jet were clogged, so I went through with a piece of wire and cleaned that out. Cleaned this whole thing out right here for the most part, even after sitting in the ultrasonic cleaner. I got the brand new Mikuni parts right here, and if you're gonna rebuild these carburetors, get the OEM rebuild kit because everything just bolts right on. That's how it should, and they're good quality. Clean all these bits and bobs up right here. Obviously this is garbage. So yeah, let's get to putting this thing all back together. All right, so the whole thing's put all back together. Took a little bit of taking it back apart, you know, swapping things around and whatnot. You know how it is. It's gonna be too much to film, so I'm just gonna cut to it being done. All right, so I've been messing about with this thing a little bit. So every time I would check all these, they all had only 7 volts. I get why this one only had 4 to 6 volts on it because you don't want high voltage at the LCD screen, but everything had it. Checked all the fuses, 7 volts. Go back to the battery, 6 to 7 volts. Don't know why that is because the last time I was here, it was fully charged and everything was fine. So I sprayed a little bit of starting fluid in there, hit on 200 amps. The thing hit for a little bit and it shut off. So I know the ignition system's working. So I'm gonna fill up the carburetor bowl with some fuel and let's try to start it again. All right, so we're using dry rotted broken funnels to fill up this carburetor because we ain't got nothing else to use. Hey! Place is idling. No smoke or anything.
So it's a damn carburetor.
Yep. Yeah, we had to kill a huge wasp nest under there because they were flying all around me and my uncle, just like tearing us all up. But that is exactly why you buy the OEM rebuild kit and not the aftermarket crap, because that aftermarket crap, it just, every time I put one back together, it just never seems to work. It's always this weird rich or lean situation at idle or high speed. So this is the OEM card with the OEM rebuild kit, and Joker cranked right up. All right, in you go. All right, so I apologize for not filming everything, but I'm kind of in a rush and tired and trying to put this thing all back together. It's hot outside. I got 2 dang fans going. And yeah, it's just a lot of trial and error stuff. And of course it's not gonna go in there. I gotta unbolt all this crap again. Yeah, so I'll get the fuel system all hooked up and I'll put you back on when we get ready to start. Oh yeah, let's get this government gas can. Oh yeah, look how eco-friendly this is. Just, you know, blobbing gas everywhere. Oh, well the correct way is doing that, yeah, but it's leaking all over your hand. Pump it up. All right. Seems to be running off choke. Somehow this thing it's like popping out of gear. I think we might have a broken belt because none of the gears are working. All right, so I don't know what was up with the shifter or the drive unit or whatever. It acted like it was wanting to pop out of gear for some reason, and then it just stopped. I tried low range, back in reverse, it wouldn't do nothing. It acts like it's kind of going in, but it doesn't want to move, so I think something's up with this belt down here. Holy crap. It is hot as crap out here. It does have a centrifugal clutch in it. Alright, so I found the problem. Drive shaft's turning, but it's the differential ain't. So something in the differential is stripped out. But we can put it in four-wheel drive and basically have only front-wheel drive, and let's see what happens now. Okay, well that's working. Alright, front brakes don't work. Well, other than the rear diff situation, everything seems to be working pretty good. Got a big fuel leak right there, but well, whole unit's good. Let's try low range. It looks like the rear end locked up. Started dragging right about there and was digging a hole right there. So yeah, either way, this rear diff's gonna have to come apart. It's locked up, won't move whatsoever. So yeah.